Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my show. Today I have a special guest, my cousin Robert. He's been a very inspirational person in my life. Very happy to have him on the show today. We're going to go into all kinds of things like we usually do when we conversate. So that's why I wanted to have him on the show. Robert, can you briefly introduce yourself to everyone?
Sure. My name is Robert. Again, I'm Richie's cousin, born and raised in New York. Left when I was about 19, joined the military. Been fortunate enough to kind of travel all over the world. Lived in Chicago, San Francisco for a while, Hawaii, Canada, been all over Asia. Right now, I'm currently living in Florida, and I've had a blessed life. Goods and bads, but the good way overwhelms the bad.
Exactly, man. I feel the same way. Can we
Yeah.
share the news, the new good news that you just told everyone about?
Yes, sir. I'm having a baby finally.
Yes, yes. Finally, after how many years?
Yeah, it's been a long, long time.
It's been a long time. You're older than me. For anyone who's listening and
Yeah.
know that I'm old, he's my senior.
Yeah, I mean, I could have had a kid by now a bunch of times, but I just never felt it was the right time and, just want to be responsible.
Yeah, man. I think enough people don't do that. I think they feel the pressure. I hope this doesn't sound sexist to anyone who's listening. And if you guys want to message me and do a show about that, but I feel women have way more of a pressure of like, yo, I got to get married. I gotta have a kid. I know things are changing, but I think that
Mhm.
pressure is still there, and that's something that, as me and you men, I didn't really feel that pressure. I knew I was getting old. I felt time was running out, but it didn't feel like it didn't feel like anything that I know some other women were feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, tough being a woman. Especially when it comes to that. And from a lot of the women tell me, the selection of men and
Oh
what
my
they're
god.
looking for is it's pretty bad.
Well, that's another thing. I remember in undergrad, I was studying psychology. I took a counseling course, and the professor was an older African American woman who was disabled, and she was
Mm.
on her second marriage. Her first husband passed away from something, unfortunately, but she was remarried again for at least maybe 15 years and stuff like that. And she said she had a lot of colleagues who were very successful in their careers, but didn't find love, and she felt that what they were looking for was too much. You know what I mean? The standard was too high.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, especially men get some men get really intimidated with a very educated woman
Yep.
and they feel the pressure, so it makes it a little more complicated, makes it more difficult. You have to find someone that's really secure in themselves, and that's
Yeah.
kind of hard in general.
Well, I feel also that women, it's sort of like a catch 22, man, because it's like nowadays it's like be successful, get a career, and be successful in your career, but you also gotta have a man that's more successful than you. But now the pool is getting smaller, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. and,
Yeah.
and women, they're very successful. they
Yeah.
they don't have the kind of restrictions that they've had in the past,
No.
or the discrimination. I mean, let's just be honest
Right.
about it. I mean,
Right.
women were stay in your home, have your kids, and if you didn't, you're a bad mom. So that mentality is kind of fading away because it takes two incomes and two successful people to have a good family
Yeah,
at
that's
times.
kind of unfortunate. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think that these times that we're living in, it's sort of the golden age for women. I feel because if you look statistically, they're kicking our butts, man. They're kicking our butts everywhere, dude. In business and college, I mean, and even in athletics, more women are participating in sports and going to the gym than we are. We're just kind of like the lazy dude on the couch now, man.
I can agree with you more. And what where we really need them is in politics. Because it's just, I mean, the political system now is on steroids. I mean, we need to kind of calm down a little bit. It's crazy. But yes, we need that balance. Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel that if you look at the House, the House of Representatives, the Senate.
Yep, yep.
All that stuff should represent the state. So if you have,
Hmm.
let's just say the country is, what it is. I mean, I believe it's like 52% female, something like that. It's a little bit more female, right?
Hmm.
I don't know what the percentage are for like Latinos and African American, but that should, in theory, represent us. It should look like that, but it's not. It's heavily male and it's heavily white. Let's be honest about
Yep.
that, and I think that's a
Old white
problem.
man.
Yeah, holding on to power.
Yep. Don't want to let it go. But anyway,
Yeah,
what are you gonna do?
yeah. All right, man. Let's change the subject up. Let's talk about the
I
good
know
old
it gets
days, man.
depressing, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. But one of the things I wanted to have you on, man, is because you're into music now, man. Tell us about your DJing.
Well, I was living in had a girlfriend in Canada, moved to New York. My brother said, "Hey, come down to Florida." Yeah. People from New York know, come down to Florida. That's sunny weather, beaches,
Yeah.
and he lives by the beach. So I came down. At first, I had a little difficulty getting work. So he would DJ different clubs, venues, and places, and do parties. So I would tag along with him. And pretty soon, I was getting my own little restaurant. I was getting my own little venues or events, and I kind of built from there. So I've kind of been doing it for about 6 years, 7 years,
Mm,
and it's been, really, it's been really, really good for me. I mean, really good. So,
yeah. Is it just kind of like a weekend hobby, or is it really a passion, or what's going on with that?
it's a weekend hobby. It's actually a passion. It's a passion of mine,
Right.
but I work on the weekends. Before COVID, I would have a club I would do every Friday night. Sometimes I would have to have DJs help me because just we get tired. And
Yeah.
then on Saturdays I would have events. I would have weddings, parties. Uh, I would make almost as much as I made an entire week working
Oh
on the
wow.
weekends.
Wow.
So that really helps out a lot. So,
So listen, if we knew back in the day, because your brother's always kind of been into DJing, but remember back in the days
yes.
when we would carry like crates and crates into the party, man.
Yeah. Egg
But
crates full of vinyl.
yeah, yeah. But I've heard stories now that there's DJs out there, like they perform like a concert, and they're making millions of dollars, man. These guys are
Like
like filthy rich.
the EDM DJs where they play for stadiums and auditoriums.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
I think if I would have known DJing would lead to that, I probably would have took more of an interest in it back in the day, man.
Yeah. I remember living in New York, there was this young kid. His name was Jay. He's probably like 14, 15 years old, 13, 14 years old. He used to
Hmm.
hang around with my brother.
Yeah, I remember Jay. Yeah,
You remember Jay?
yeah,
He
yeah.
started DJing in La Mega,
Uh huh.
clubs, different radio stations.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, he blew up.
He did. I saw him
So,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm right now DJing at a radio station. You would
Nice,
have
nice.
told
You
me
went.
this 6, 7 years ago, I would have been like, no way.
Hey, so tell the
I
listeners
did.
about that, man. How can they find you on this radio station and hear you DJ?
They could look for me on Facebook, Robert Cruz, or on Instagram, DJ Robert C, or on Facebook, DJ Robert C. They can find me on TuneIn app on 104.9 in Florida, and I always have a link scheduled. What we do is we have a Friday and a Saturday show, and what we try to do is between 9 and 12, make it kind of clubby, like
Uh
what we
huh.
would do if we were in the club.
Nice.
So when COVID happened, we were like, all right, what are we gonna do? Let's
You got
just
to
bring the
innovate.
club
You
to
got to
people.
innovate, man.
Yes, exactly.
Necessity is the mother of all invention.
Yes, it is. So we've been doing that. So it's been pretty good. I mean, we live in Florida, so we're treating COVID a little different here than,
Yeah.
let's
All
say,
right. Let's get into it. I knew eventually we were gonna get into this. Let's go, man. Let's go. Because okay, I'm gonna take it back because I remember like when you first started doing, at least that I noticed that you guys were doing this. You gave me a call or something like that. And I wanted to go on the show. I wanted to talk about like compared to what's going on in the States or especially maybe
South
Florida,
Korea.
how was like Korea handling it? And because of military reasons, I couldn't just go on the show. You know what I mean? You know how it is.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But I think things have changed now. Let's talk about Florida, man. Because I went to Missouri, and Missouri I went a few months ago. So this is pre-election and everything. It was like a Trump rally, man. And I'm not saying because they support Trump, which they do. I'm saying nobody had a mask on. Nobody just cared. They were like, whatever, man.
Well, I mean, like that. It's like that out here. You know, people. There's restaurants. People walk in with masks, but then they take it off. If you go to a bar, there's bars that are open. You know, no one walks in with a mask.
Damn.
There's clubs that are open. No one
Clubs?
walks in with the clubs. Oh
Oh
yeah,
shit.
I remember
Pumping
when
and
we
grinding,
first,
people are dancing like that?
dude, when we first opened up.
Yeah.
I think it was in April, whatever. I was showing videos of us partying in the clubs, and
Yeah.
all my family in New York is like, "Oh my God, what
What are
is
you
going on?
doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?" And it's because DeSantis just said, "Whatever, we're gonna, the economy's more important than lives." So, so what are you gonna? I mean,
Yeah, well, I know a lot of people like that who feel that way, and I understand it. Like you don't want to destroy the
economy.
economy because then what do we do? Now we just caused a bigger issue. But I think the
Yeah,
problem with that is, what if it's your mom, your child, who ends up passing away? You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, and we have a really large elderly population here, huge.
Exactly.
I mean,
Florida's
the
like the
state,
retirement state, man.
yeah, and it swang red. I mean, during the election, there were Trump signs and everything. My two neighbors to my left and right are Trump supporters, and yeah, but they're mad cool with me. But it's like
Yes.
it's kind of like I don't know, it's ingrained. Vote red.
Yeah.
But because I also work in the medical field,
Uh huh.
and I know for a fact that there are elderly people in their homes going through depression, just having a really hard time dealing with everything. But then you have your elderly people out here that are because we have a friend that owns like a golf course, and
Uh
he
huh.
has like 60s music and whatever, and he gets that place packed with older people. Nobody has a mask.
Yeah.
So you have your two extremes. You just have to pick, where do you want to be in it?
I think there's no right answers. That's why politics and all that stuff is so hard to do. There's really because if Trump went one way, they'll blame him. If he went left, they'll blame him for not going right. If he goes right,
That's
yo, why
true.
didn't you go left, dude? Like
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
true.
politics, man. You know what I mean? They're gonna try to get you on something, man. And the problem with that for me is that it shouldn't be political, man. This is about our lives, our families, our country.
And
You know what I mean? Like I hate that it's so it's set up as a game, right? You have to win to,
yep,
to get in, right? And keep your job.
yep,
You got to win again. I think maybe that's a problem, but what's the alternative to that? I guess it's just always going to be messy because of that.
it is. But I can tell you one thing. I will never complain ever as long as I live about a Republican president ever in my life.
Why is that?
After these 4 years, after experiencing these 4 years of this unorthodox president,
Uh huh.
I mean, he was like way off this. I mean, just some of the stuff he was saying. I mean, we've never heard.
No, never.
I mean, in our life.
Mm-mm.
So, and I don't think, and I hope that we never hear stuff like that again. But it was crazy. I mean, I wouldn't tolerate a coworker saying some of the stuff he was saying, but
Right.
the country voted. So but now they voted him out, so we can move on.
So
Next
that's the
chapter.
thing, man. I think a lot of Republicans feel just like you. Like a lot of them didn't want him in there. He just happened to be the guy, so they were riding that wave.
Yeah.
But me and you, I mean, okay, so I think we represent the majority, but the majority's not that large, man. There were so many people who voted for him, man. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to understand that. I don't know if you have
Well,
any opinions on that.
well, when you think about it, he didn't win the majority of the votes.
No, he
Not
didn't.
this
No.
time, not last time.
Right.
It's just a system that empowered states make them feel important. The electoral college system.
Right.
That is kind of what our founders put in place to give importance to every state.
Right.
So, but if you look at all the big population centers, like a buddy of mine, we were talking, and if you take a look, I mean, this is not to disparage anyone. If you take a look at all the blue states that he supposedly says are, terrible,
Right.
they
Yeah.
give
Yeah.
way more to the. They give way more to they give way
Yeah,
more
I've
to the
seen that map.
government than they receive.
Yep, I've seen that map. Yeah. So if you
So if
divide it like how they do, like the like you said, the red, the blue,
yep,
as far as economic power, like how
correct.
much, like I think the map that I saw was the dollar. Let's divide the dollar.
Yep.
Something like 80 cents of the dollar is produced by all these blue states, and 20 cents is like combine all these red states together. So
Correct.
basically, like when it comes to like tax dollars and money coming from the federal government, these red states are getting way more for producing less. So they're basically
It's
welfare states, feeding off the blue
exactly.
states,
You
feeding off
hit
the
the
blue
nail on the head.
states. Yeah,
Everybody's talking about welfare and living off the government and all this other stuff. Well, aren't all those subsidies and pork that you're receiving and all that living off the government?
yeah,
Shouldn't we
yeah.
cut that out?
And I think that's another problem, and it's a reason why I'm doing it.
Eliminate the taxes?
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen, but I think that's
Well,
a. Hold on a second. I just want to say that a few people has asked me why I'm doing this podcast. This is one of the reasons, man. I think that you watch the news, you watch media, and it's all these people who are experts, but they get stuff wrong like all the time. And that's great. You're an expert. You live in your expert bubble. But there's millions of people out here who vote. That expert has one vote. All these people out here who aren't experts, they have one vote. So to me, their voice is equal. Because if people don't know something and they're voting like that, it doesn't matter if you're an expert and you think this. These other people, I want to get ordinary people. I don't know how many people I've interviewed just to talk about like what we're talking about, like politics or whatever. Like, well, I'm not an expert on that. Yeah, and that's why I want you here, dude. Because what you think, if you look at it mathematically, right? Everybody has a vote, right? So then your opinion is just as value as that person who considers themselves an expert. Maybe you might be wrong about what you're thinking, and we could do something about that, about education or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, a person who's uninformed or uneducated about something has as much power in the voting booth as the person who's an expert.
yes, exactly. I mean, they influence people more, but you know, that's the platform they've been given.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, man. It's a
but
crazy system. I think it's designed to be. I've studied a little bit of history, the founding fathers. I love what they did, but democracy was always supposed to be like this. It was always supposed
messy
to be messy. Yeah, nobody
to
gets
not,
100% of what they want.
or to make, to make change difficult, have the systems kind of balancing each other where they're less likely to do anything.
Do harm, right, right. So they were very concerned about going back to a monarchy or like a one leadership dictatorship type system. So they made it kind of difficult for anything like that to happen. Inversely, to make change happen, positive change, it's kind of hard too.
Yeah, yeah. But you don't want the supermajority to, let's say, like let's say what the vote count was, what, 76 or 72. I
Hmm.
mean, you don't want one party to totally dominate another party, because then that's just going to cause dissent and chaos. It's just an unlivable situation. You have to find compromise, and that's where people have to get back to, finding
Yeah,
compromise.
and I know a lot of people are unhappy with the electoral college, but I actually like the electoral college because of that. Because you get all these, like we said, the blue states that have all these much more people, but you can't have it where, let's just say, because theoretically we can have two states. Let's just say New York on the East Coast, California on the West Coast. That
Yep.
everybody in the middle just decided to move to
Yep.
the east or the west. So
Yep.
there's, in theory, 10 times more votes. And you can't have a person become president who only won two states
Yep.
and you lost 48. No, but we got more votes than everybody. Like,
People in New York or in California are saying that they have the majority of the votes, and
yeah,
they
I mean,
dictate that they're winning two states.
yeah, exactly. Like, so the system wouldn't work, man. It would be another civil war if you have, because theoretically, yeah, like, I mean, it doesn't even take two states. If we did just a simple majority of votes, one state, a candidate could win one state and lose 49 and become president. And that's not unity, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway, I think people have had enough of politics. We've been talking about that for
True.
what, like 6 months?
Yeah. Probably for 4 years, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, man. Hey, one of the big reasons too, I wanted to have you on here is that we saw this, man. I mean, maybe more so you than me, but we saw the explosion of rap. And for a lot of people, these
Mm,
young millennials that I meet that are like, 18, 20 years old, they grew up with rap MTV being like the thing. We grew up in a time that I tell people this story. Look, I tell them a scenario. If I was a young man back in 80, whatever, 82, 83, and I found a cassette play and I played it, by listening to the music, I could tell you the race of the person. If it was like rap music or soul R&B, it was the black guys. If it was, salsa merengue, I belonged to a Latino guy. If it was rock, it was a white guy. Nowadays, everybody's listening to everything.
mhm.
It's a different time. How do you remember, man? What was the first thing you remember, like? Because we grew up in Brooklyn, man. When do you remember like rap starting to come up? Because I remember it was on like just maybe in 1 hour a day on the station back in the days.
Yeah, it used to be on at night.
Yeah.
I used to have it on at night. So, I what I always remember and love about New York, playing in the streets, football, playing
Mm,
Skelly, playing all those games,
yeah.
and then you're out all day in the summertime,
Uh huh.
and then you would run home, all your friends, to catch the mix, so you could record it,
Yeah.
so you could
Yeah.
say
That's
you
right.
got
That's right. Yeah.
it, and you used to wait for your song to come on, and then
Yeah.
hit record.
Yeah. Yeah. And then stop it when the commercial or the DJ starts
Yep,
talking.
yep, that's how it was. And people, be beatboxing,
Oh yeah.
rapping,
Dancing. Remember
oh,
the
break
dancing?
dancing, break
Yo.
dancing.
Though we were break dancers, dude. Remember that shit?
Yep. Used to get a cardboard, cut it up, lay it flat. Used to go to other neighborhoods and challenge them.
Uh huh.
Yeah, yeah. I can remember it like it was yesterday. And those were, I mean, for me, they were the most memorable times. I mean, we were with our families. All the cousins and kids used to get together. We used to have our activities, playing in the street, playing softball.
Yeah.
Just it seemed like people had more time for each other.
Definitely.
Not everyone was not in their little cube or their little circle, with their phone or
Everyone, New York City used to be everyone hung out on the block and on their stoop.
stoop. Yep,
Yeah, man. Looking out the window.
yep,
That was the cell phone. I remember I was talking to a friend and like that was a cell phone back in the day. You're looking at your apps, you look out the window.
yep. And everyone was, watching the kids play. If one mom had to go do something, mírame, ve la little nene. You know what I mean? Scream to the
Yeah,
lady across the
man.
street.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if somebody were to come in that wasn't from the neighborhood, causing trouble, whatever, all the older kids would get involved. That
Yeah.
kind of, yep,
Oh, it's a different time, man. I
different time.
yeah, we live in a time where you can't spank your kids and I'm not trying to make an argument for or against spanking, but I remember like what you're talking about, that unity. If I was in the store or a supermarket and I was doing something messed up, a woman, an older woman, whatever, who didn't even know me would spank me
Yeah,
right there. Like,
yeah,
¿por qué estás haciendo? And my mom or somebody would see this lady and she wouldn't like, yo, lady, what are you doing to my kids? She'd be like, what did you do that this lady's
yeah,
spanking you? You did something. Did she spank you?
yeah.
Ah, it's crazy, man.
It was more community. It was more, but then you also have to think about that in those times there was a lot of segregation too.
Yeah.
People lived in their own neighborhood. Latinos and blacks lived in their own neighborhood.
Yeah.
Italians lived in their own neighborhoods.
That's
Jewish
right.
people lived in their own neighborhoods. So it
Dude,
was more racially.
yeah. Do you remember Howard Beach, man? How old were
Yeah,
we when that happened?
that place is crazy. It's just
Yeah.
so racist, like outright. If you were from a different race or whatever, don't even bother
Go to
walking
that
to it.
neighborhood. Yeah.
Yep,
So for people who don't know this, I mean, you could probably Google it. Howard Beach is a predominantly, I think, Italian neighborhood in
yep, Italian.
is it in Brooklyn? I think it's in Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's
Might
like
be.
going towards the beach,
Yeah,
Rockaway.
yeah, yeah. Rockaway, yeah. Where I think two African gentlemen had a friend from school, an Italian lady, and they dropped her off or something like that. Like just friends, just gave her a ride home or something like that. And the guys in the neighborhood, like you were talking about, like, yo, who's this person causing trouble in my neighborhood? Because every neighborhood was like that.
Yeah.
They ended up chasing the guy, and I think one of them died. They killed the guy, and it was a big racial divide in New York City, man. It was nuts.
Yeah. I remember as a kid because sort of with rap, there was that racial tension. It
Yes.
was it was I mean, you kind of honestly, it was like you're in jail. You stay with your race and that's that.
Yeah.
And if you had any issues, you know what I mean? It's crazy. I remember one time as a child, I probably was maybe 8, 9 years old. I was on a bus. We had gone to the beach. We get on that bus route to come back, and it was a black bus driver. And I always remember the bus failed or had some mechanical issue, and we got out waiting for another bus. And the bus driver looked at us and said, "They won't stop for me because I'm black."
Fuck, man.
And as a kid, I will always remember that. Always.
Fuck, dude. What year
Yeah.
was this, man?
I must have been probably 82, maybe 83.
And this is New York City. That's supposed to be a very
New York.
progressive, liberal, area. And I tell people it's just a different type of racism. That's all it really was,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. And I remember getting called the N word. You know what I mean? Italian. It was just. I remember in high school. In high school, there used to
Yeah.
be race fights.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
Race
In
fights.
Queens, in Grover, Cleveland?
Yeah, Grover
Yeah.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
But that was all during rap, and it was only the Hispanic kids and the black kids that listened to rap, and then it started filtering over. Now everybody's a rapper.
So that's why I wanted to talk about this story of our experience with rap, because I feel that it's crazy, man. When like we talk about you said maybe 82 that happened and stuff like that. And rap just comes on the scene, right? We don't know what it is and what it's going to become. It was ostracized, like you said. You could listen to
Yep.
it 1 hour a day. It wasn't
Yep.
on MTV. MTV
Nope.
barely had black people. I think the only black person they had was Michael Jackson.
Yep.
And here we are, fast forward 30, 40, 50, well, not 50, but years later. Rock is dead.
Yeah.
Everyone listens to fucking rap.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I never would have predicted that would happen, man. That's just insane.
Rap was strictly inner city, quote, poor kids, or kids the lesser means. And now for some, it's just taking over the landscape for. It's superseded pop, right? I mean, it's bigger than
I think
pop.
I think everything. I think any
Yeah.
club you go to, they might play different genres of music, but
Mhm.
they got rap in there. It's a majority, I think.
Yeah. Oh my God, let me just tell you. I do parties. I do a
Right.
lot of parties. Every country party turns into a dirty hip hop
By the end
booty
of the
shaking
night, once
party.
the alcohol
Hmm.
starts flowing, right?
Yep. Yep. And you would think like, wow. So yeah.
No one's
Yeah.
racist after a few drinks and there's a hot mamacita or a sister out there shaking her butt.
Nope.
I don't care how racist you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So
It's crazy. So share with me, man. What was the first big rap song you remember hearing?
Rapper's Delight, I think.
Yeah.
Sugar Hill Gang, Rapper's Delight. I think is it a hip hop? A
To
hip
Hibbit,
it to the
yeah.
hip hop. Don't stop.
Stop the boogie,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. For
Rapper's
me,
Delight.
for
Yeah.
me, I remember like going over to you guys' house and we would break dance. I remember we would go to
Yep.
the store, the bodega. We would open up the garbage thing. They would put the cardboard boxes back there. And the first
Yep.
one I remember, a lot of people don't even know this group, was the Fat Boys. Remember? The
Oh
Fat
yeah.
Boys are back.
You were the Fat Boys. They were after. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
There were
yeah.
like a lot of little niche groups, you know what I mean? That I
Here
mean,
and
they
there.
exploded, but they, kind of first started like inner city type things. But
They were the first group I remember to explode because I think they even ended up getting like a movie and stuff like that.
yeah, they did. They did like
Mhm.
1 or 2 movies. I remember that. It's fun.
Those early
Yep.
days are nuts, man.
Yep. And then also, let's not forget about, but this was more like in the 70s, the
Hmm.
Fania All Stars, like that's when salsa was just like boom, just
Yeah. Oh
like,
my God. Yeah.
yo, if there was any time, even though racially, I'd probably be, it's a terrible time,
Yeah.
but to be around with Fania and all those
Hector
salseros,
Lavoe. Yeah. All those
Willie
guys.
Colon, Eddie
Yeah.
Palmer, I mean, like, wow.
That
You
was an
still play
amazing
those
time.
songs in the club right now, and people go crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the difference between, I think, all other genres of music, whether it's salsa or rock. that old songs like that are still people who listen to those genres still listen to it. You know, it's the song that your grandmother listened to. You know what I mean? But in rap, I don't or pop, I don't think you see that much. You know what I mean? It's all like
You know,
what's the new thing?
yeah, I agree. I agree. Like, you could have a party, and then you play some old classic rap songs,
Mm-hmm.
play some old rap songs, people will remember, or like the classics, like the 80s and 90s. They're
Right,
always a
right.
hit at parties. Always
The
a hit.
even with the younger crowd, because I've noticed with the younger crowd, they
Even with the
sometimes don't
younger
even
crowd.
know that one. Oh wow.
Even
Okay.
with the younger crowd. Like Biggie,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
uh,
Biggie. Yeah. Yeah.
Tupac. But you can't go further than that because they don't really know.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of where you kind of stay around that era.
Uh huh.
So, but yeah.
So what do you think about the differences now, man? About because you went from Florida to New York. Like what's going on? Because everyone is questioning like what the fuck is up with Florida, man?
Oh, I just want to go back a minute
Yeah.
about the rap, the difference in rap now, and
Okay.
kind of. I was sitting in the car with my niece, and I like J. Cole because J. Cole, he's kind of like he's got that old school, like rapper about something.
Uh
Like
huh.
rap back then used to rap about something.
Right.
You were sending a message. You were bringing to light some injustice that happened.
Right.
You
Yeah.
weren't just talking blah 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 nonsense.
How many girls I got? How much money I
Correct.
got? Yeah. Yeah.
So J. Cole has that intelligence. He's got that, even though he can get grimy, but
Right.
he's got that flow. And I told
Uh
her,
huh.
let's listen to a couple of the rap songs that you listen to. And I told her, all right, I'm gonna put some J. Cole on for you. And I put like 2 or 3 songs, and she looked at me and said, Uncle Robert, they can't even touch him. It's just a
Wow.
difference. Yeah,
Wow.
he's tight. He's old school. But Florida's beautiful. Beautiful
Okay.
weather, no state taxes.
Uh huh.
I mean, it's pretty divided, but everybody's generally generally pretty respectful. Southern Florida is totally different than Northern Florida
Okay.
because it's real Latino, really
Oh,
Latino,
okay.
very Latino. So,
Yeah.
but it's a nice place, very nice place. Cannot complain.
So I had this debate with someone about 10 years ago who was moving to Florida. They were like, "Oh, I'm so
Mhm.
excited. I'm going down to Florida. I'm finally leaving New York." And I remember I said to the person, most people who grow up outside of New York want to one day live in New York. But like people
Yeah,
like us who are like growing up in New York, like, I gotta go. I gotta get out
yeah,
sometime. But I kind of just looked at it and I was like, there's a lot of nice stuff in New York. Like, I mean, you got Broadway, you got all kinds of stuff. It's a great restaurants, great nightlife, tourist attractions. There's so many like things to do, right? It's the city that never sleeps. But yet a lot of people every year leave it. I don't know. Like I get when you're old and you want to retire and just kind of be chill. What is it for you? Do you think that just really drew you to Florida?
Well, it's probably like California, like San Francisco, LA.
Okay.
It's expensive,
Yeah.
congested. People's attitudes could sometimes be off-putting. People are hard.
Yeah.
People come off as rude.
Right.
But if you've grown up there and you have your family there, it's there's more like a family connection. I say in the East Coast, like New York, and
Right.
it's first generation immigrants. You all come together and you kind of stay together. You start fragmenting out as the next generation start, leaving the
Right.
state.
Right.
But it's kind of like that old world,
Wow.
expensive.
Yeah.
People can't buy houses.
Yeah.
A lot of knuckleheads,
Yeah.
poverty,
That's true, man.
gentrification. People can't afford to
Yo,
live
that's
where they live.
crazy. Have you seen Brooklyn lately?
Yeah,
Oh my God, Brooklyn's not Brooklyn, man.
yeah. Everybody from Manhattan is moving to Brooklyn and driving up the prices. Like people can't live where they used to live.
Yeah, I had a friend recently who was going on vacation to Brooklyn to stay with a friend for like a few weeks in the summer, and she was like, "Yo, tell me a nice place and blah 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 to go to Brooklyn." I was like, "Look, when I lived there was no nice places."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy,
I
man.
know I know a couple of cousins, they have some houses out there. They're like, yeah, we can't wait for the first Starbucks to open nearby us or or coffee shop
Yeah,
because it'll drive. the property value. But
Yeah.
it's it puts the people that have lived there for a long time and they can barely are barely getting by. It puts them in a terrible situation. I mean,
Yeah.
can't even imagine.
And I think New York, for all its like its greatness, and I think it's a great city. It's a grind too, man. And
Yep.
after a while in your life, you're like, yo, I don't want to do this anymore, man.
Yeah.
When that snow
Imagine.
falls and you're like in your 50s or 60s and you got to put your
Yeah.
boots on and everything and dreads through the snow or shovel. Remember we used to shovel, make some money?
Snow.
Yeah, dude, you got to do that. You're like, you know what, man? I can get your dollar goes a lot farther. That's why I get why people retire in Florida, man, for sure.
Well, just think about it this way: if people that are listening that don't live in that atmosphere,
Right.
in the wintertime, it gets dark.
Mm-hmm.
In New York, you can't. Most people have to take the subway or some sort of public transports to get to wherever they're going because it's parking.
Right.
So you have to get up early. You have to take the subway. It's snowy, so you might have to walk 2 or 3 blocks, and it's cold. To
Yeah.
get in a packed subway, to commute an hour maybe each way by
Hey,
train.
did you move or something? Because your sound is like real choppy right now.
Somebody keeps trying to call me. I'm okay. Hear me better now?
A little bit. You sound a little distant. Oh, there you go. There you go.
You got
That's
me?
a lot better. Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Yeah.
You were saying about
So-
the packed subways and everything.
Yeah, packed subways. You get home. You get out of work at 5:30. By the time you get home, it's 6:30. It's almost 7 o'clock. Ice cold. You're exhausted. You have to go to sleep to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning the next day, 5 o'clock.
It's a rat race.
Yeah, it's tough.
Is Lenny still there?
He just walked in. You want to say hi to him?
I was gonna say, can I get both you guys on there? Can we do that? Make put speaker or something?
Yeah.
See if we can go
Lenny,
into
right?
talk about sports a little bit, man.
I'm gonna have you talk to him for a second, and then
Okay.
I'll join him.
Hey, Richard, how are you?
What's up, Lenny? How are you doing? Hey,
How
real
are you?
quick.
Yeah.
Do you agree to be recorded?
Sure, why not?
And you agree to release that I could go ahead and broadcast this on my podcast?
Of course.
All right, there you go. Now we can continue. What's up, Lenny?
How are you? Long time no see, cuz.
I know, bro. Hey, you making fun of your brother, first time father?
Yeah, man. I was wondering if the equipment was still working,
I'm pretty sure, man.
I don't know, they say after a while, you got that rust, so
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it works. Yeah, it definitely works.
That's crazy.
I'm
man.
excited. I mean, the whole family's excited because he's
I know.
the last of the Mohicans. And he's the oldest one.
Dude, I couldn't believe it when he said it, man. I was like, yo, for real? Hey, he's gonna be
Well,
like in a wheelchair at the graduation, the high school graduation.
My girlfriend was telling me, wait a minute, he's 50. Damn, when the kid is 18, he's gonna be 68 years old. What is he gonna do?
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
we're Latin, man. We like young forever or something,
Yeah, but your
Won't
dad,
take
your
care of
dad
yourself.
kept going though, right? You guys' dad kept,
Yeah,
yeah. How old was he when he had the last one? Your dad?
My dad had to be, I think, in his mid-50s, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah, remember,
Wow, dude, yeah.
remember Isabella, my oldest child.
Uh-huh.
She was like
Like the
5
same
years old.
age or something like that.
No, not even that. She was like 5 years old,
Uh-huh.
and her uncle was 2. How does
That's
that
that
sound?
Latino stuff, bro.
Yeah. So I was telling my 5-year-old daughter, "Can you tell your uncle to get off the floor?" That was in my grandma's 80th party before she passed.
Nice, dude.
The whole family got together, and Isabella was
Yeah.
like 5 years old, and her uncle was 2 years old.
That's nuts.
And yeah, everybody made fun of my dad for that, But he blames it on the vitamins A through Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says it's la vitamina, how they say in
Uh-huh.
Spanish. So
Hey, but you guys are lucky, man. You, Robert, and you guys got your dad, man. Even your mom looks really good, man. You guys are aging really well, man.
yeah. My mom, she's lost weight too, so but
That's
she's
good.
still the same fresh mouth, no filter. I mean, my dad's still, he's getting older. I mean, if he was bald, he looked much younger, but his gray is
Yeah.
showing pretty
Yeah,
heavy
okay.
right now.
How old is he now?
To be honest, he's I don't know the exact, and that's kind of sad.
Late,
but
late 70s or something like that?
yeah, he's in the late 70s. Yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
but he's in New York, he's stuck in an apartment.
Yeah.
But that's how that's all they know. They
Yeah.
come to somewhere like Florida and they don't feel at home.
Yeah. That's my dad
Look
too,
at-
man.
Yeah, look at Ita, Francis' mom. Our
Yeah.
aunt. She comes to
Yeah.
Florida and she's here for like a few weeks and she just wants to go back to Queens.
Yeah.
And I'm
I
like,
get
look
it
at
though, man.
look at the freedom you have here.
Right.
No stress in parking. You can go out and get back in. You can go into stores and come back out quickly. It's open. But
Yeah.
no, they love the chaos. You know,
It's
they
not
love
just
the
that, man.
chaos.
I think after a while, it's sort of like the dudes in prison where you get institutionalized. It's just what you know, man. It becomes comfortable, man.
Yeah, that is correct. Cause look, we're trying to get my mom out here for the longest. She still hasn't got out here.
Yeah, me too. My dad. I'm trying now. Now that I came back in,
Yeah,
my financial situation is a lot better than it
yeah,
was, a while back.
yeah.
And I've been trying to get my dad. My dad's like, you know what I mean? And his
You
health is
can't.
not good, bro. His health is bad.
You
You
want to
know?
get him out there with you, or
Yeah, yeah. I want to get him to go ahead, stay with me, be a dependent. He could be here and spend his last few years because his health is not good. He doesn't. I
yeah,
probably shouldn't be saying this, but I don't think he has 5 years. You know what I mean? At least spend this last few years with your grandkids and your son. You know what I mean?
yeah. 'Cause that's like you said. That's all they know.
Yeah.
I mean,
But look,
it's another. If you're talking about another country,
yeah,
that's
yeah. I know.
that's even like he's like you can't get me out of Brooklyn.
I can't
How are
cross
you
the
gonna get me
bridge
to another country that is not even my language is not even primary? I mean, that's for him is like if you could pull that off, you are the man.
I'm the magician, bro. Houdini.
If you could pull that off, man, you have to tranquilize him and put him in a jet, fly him quickly, and wake up and blindfold him. Yeah, I can't see him. Like even my mom, dude. My mom is my Isabella's gonna be 18 years old. My
Right.
oldest,
Oh, I can't believe that. I remember when she was a little
18,
girl, man. Oh my
18 years
God.
old, and my mom, she sees him every Christmas.
Yeah.
She hasn't spent like
T-
more than like
Titi
consecutive
grandma,
time.
remember that?
Yeah, exactly. Well, they still call her Titi Grandma.
That's
Yeah, they
crazy,
still call
man.
her. But you see, my mom be like, "This little bitch, come over here, little bitch." Mom, how my mom
Yeah,
is,
yeah, yeah,
little
yeah.
bitch. And they love her. They love her for that. And it's like Titi Grandma, Titi Grandma, Titi Grandma. And I
Yeah.
say, "It's your grandma." Like who? It's your grandma. Like, oh, Titi Grandma. So they don't. They even feel funny calling her grandma.
Grandma, yeah. That's
Yeah.
nuts, man. All right, man. Let's switch it up, man. Let's talk about some sports, man. You ready for that?
Oh, let's go.
Because I know what's up with your. Well, Miami's looking pretty good this year, right?
Well, let's start first with the heartbreaker,
What's that?
New York Mets.
Oh, come on, bro.
I never. Hold on. I never agreed on getting Robinson Cano.
Okay.
You know what happened to him right now?
What happened?
He tested second time for PEDs.
Oh, you know what? That's a good topic to talk about. PEDs, man.
Yep. So he is out for the year. But that's cool because that's $24 million the Mets freed up to go after somebody younger. Cano's 38 years old, man.
Yeah.
His prime was with the Yankees, and then when he went to the Mariners,
Right. Yeah.
he came to the Mets. I mean, come on, they gave him all this money. So imagine giving this guy
That's
$24 million
insane.
at the age of 38.
That's insane. But I mean, if he's
So
taking PEDs, it'll work. But if you can't, you
well,
get caught, then now you're messed up.
well, he got caught. This is his second offense. Remember, the first
Yeah.
offense, he lost 80 games. The dummy got caught again now.
Yeah.
He loses a year. He's going to come back when he's 39. The Mets get to save $24 million.
Is
So
that how it
I
is
was
though?
like,
Like if you have a player that pops positive,
yeah,
that money comes off the payroll?
yeah, comes back to the Mets.
What? So are they still paying him the money though? Like he doesn't
No,
get paid?
he doesn't get paid. He's violated.
Oh shit. That's crazy, dude.
It's like you quitting. It's like you quitting your job and you still don't get paid. No, you got
Yeah.
caught. These are rules and policies you got to follow.
Yeah.
You get caught with PEDs. Guess what? You're suspended without pay.
Yeah. That's nuts.
So I
dude.
mean, yeah. So that's $24 million. The Mets get to free up to go after some young kids and develop them. So I'm cool with that.
All
know?
right. Yeah.
But about my Dolphins, yes, let's go into my Dolphins, man. I know you're way over there, but dude, I was watching the Herd the other day, and he
Uh-huh.
was. I don't know if you've seen it on my Facebook.
Yeah, I think you posted it. I didn't have a chance to watch it, but yeah, I saw you posted about
You,
something.
when you post this interview, you could post the Herd what he was saying about the
All
Dolphins.
right. All right.
He was like, okay, we got the 1-2 Kansas City, we got Pittsburgh, we got all these teams. He goes, but why can't Miami be number 4? He was like, stellar defense, special teams on point. They're always scoring in every game.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, and Tua is playing better and better and better every day. He goes, Tua doesn't turn the ball over. No
That's
turnovers.
key. That's key.
Yeah, no turnover. Good defense. It's good special teams. They deserve to be number 4. And he was like, what you going to say? The Rams? They beat them. You're going to say Arizona? They went to Arizona and beat them. He goes, why can't they beat them number 4?
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, hopeful Dolphin fan. Like the Mets and Dolphins always get shattered when you go for the. But I love the future. You got
Yeah.
Brian Flores. Where's he from?
All right.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Okay.
Brooklyn born. Okay, he was a
Just make
Belichick
sure you
guy.
pat him down first, man.
Yeah, but I mean, he has them playing at a high level.
Yeah.
He has them playing at a high level. So I'm really 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 excited for this year. So every Sundays I got my Mark Clayton jersey and Mark Duper jersey, throwback classics.
Right.
So I wear one or the other on Sundays, and I go out.
All right, man. Let's
But,
switch it up. I want to go into PEDs, man. We got this whole generation of players on PEDs, man. Where do you stand on that?
Can't tolerate it, man. Zero. I mean, you cheating.
Really?
It's cheating, man.
Oh man,
It's cheating.
really? I don't feel that way, man.
How can't you?
So
Is it allowed?
no, but this is my perspective on it, man. Because I remember being a young guy, and I'm sure you do too. Like playing, trying to make the team, which is a whole other conversation where every kid gets to make the team and gets a trophy. But we used to work hard and try to make the team, right?
Yeah.
And you finally get your spot. You're playing good, right? And then you see these other guys around you who are like just fucking balling, dude. But they weren't balling like a few months ago. You know what I mean? And now all of a sudden you lose your spot, and all these people are basically it's everyone is doing it. If it's just, I understand the argument if it's just a few guys, but it was pervasive, man. I remember in Grover, Cleveland, you graduated a little bit before me. Everybody was taking something, man, at the high school level. So imagine at the college level, imagine at the minor league level, imagine at the pros, dude. And this is the game that you love. If you make it in this endeavor, you change your life forever. If you don't, who knows what kind of talent you got? Maybe you end up working at Walmart for the rest of your life. But if you could make it, you change your life. You change the life for your family for like generations, man.
I mean, would I do it myself to go ahead of everybody and make a ton of money? Who wouldn't?
Like that's the point that I'm trying to say, man. Even if you get caught.
So if you're telling me that what I feel about it, if I did it personally, hey, shoot me in the toe, shoot me in my knees, shoot me in my ears so I can hear better, and whatever it is.
Right.
But as far as the league coming down and saying, hey, if you get caught, I mean, they know already.
I like what they're doing now, the punishments and everything. But I'm talking about before they started doing this. I think they drew a line in the sand, and anyone doing it now after they've done that, okay, that's a different story. I get you. Maybe they don't deserve to go to Hall of Fame and stuff like that. But I'm talking about when everyone was doing it. And I still think people are doing it, though.
Well, I mean, that being said, okay, do you think what Pete Rose did was that terrible to be banned from the Hall of Fame?
As a player, no.
And
everything that he did as a player, he should get credit for. But if they want to ban him from being a manager or having anything to do with the major leagues, yes, but he should be in a Hall of Fame as a player.
But they don't allow him because he threw a couple of hundreds here and there on gambling. I mean, come on, there's guys that did far worse.
Yeah.
I mean, look at, isn't Roger Clemens in the Hall of Fame already? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he might be. Yeah, he might be.
Wasn't he suspected for all these PEDs and stuff like that?
And that's the thing. I think with him, it's suspected. So that's kind of how he got in.
Barry Bonds.
Did he finally get in? I don't even remember.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he was in court. He's in. But I'm saying, look at his numbers.
Right.
And this is from look at Barry Bonds when he was with the Pirates, how skinny he was. Yeah, he was a younger person.
Yeah.
But when he was in San Francisco, dude, he was like a. I mean, his head was huge, his arms are huge. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, you want to take it back to when it really blew up? Yeah. Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire, that home run for the whole year.
I know. That was after the strike and everything. It brought baseball back.
Slamming Sammy. When it was like, imagine when we were kids and the Cubs were playing. You were just watching every at bat when Sammy Sosa was up.
That was nuts.
When Mark McGwire was up.
I was at the airport, man, when they were doing that chase, and everybody like running to their plane stopped, and they played it on a big screen. And this wasn't even the one that broke the record. This was like when they were approaching like 56, 57, both of them. Every time one of those dudes came to bat, the whole country stopped and watched them.
So my question to you is, when do you think was Major League Baseball said, okay, this has got to stop? Because keep in mind,
never.
When with Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, okay, the ton of money that Major League Baseball was making off of that.
Exactly. That's why they've
for that
never
whole
said,
time.
let's stop this. They never.
So they were just
And they
hush
never
hush.
will.
Yeah. So where did the sand, the line get drawn on the sand?
Bro,
When
Lenny.
do you think?
No, this my personal opinion. It's like the war on drugs. Man, you're never gonna stop the war on drugs. Let's legalize it. That's the best option you got. I think let's just legalize it. Listen, it works better because the game is more exciting. Your favorite players get to have an extended career.
Yeah.
So like health wise, like there'll probably be less injuries because these guys are taking stuff that'll help them prevent from being hurt. And if they do hurt, they'll probably heal even sooner. So I just say just legalize it, man. Screw it. Screw it. You're never gonna fix this, man. It's a problem you can't fix.
Imagine if they did that. I mean, it's so confusing and so contradicting because the guys who really did it, they were really already superstars.
Yeah,
So
Barry
the-
Bonds was.
they really
He was already
need
a
to
Hall
do
of Famer. Yeah.
A-Rod, did he really
Yeah.
need to do it?
Yeah.
To me, it was more of these old superstars that felt the decline and needed a little boost.
Yeah, and with A-Rod, I think that's the state. He started off great,
Yeah.
a young guy, and I think that as he started to get old, he noticed that his numbers were getting down, and
Yeah.
players that weren't as good as him were now on his level or maybe doing better, and he was probably like, "Screw this, I'm gonna take it."
Yeah, like I mean, Cano getting caught. I'm 38 years old. So for Cano is like, if I take this and I go through it, I got 24 mil in my pocket.
He took the gamble,
Why
and I
not?
would have
Why
too.
not take the chance?
Yeah, take the gamble, man. Take the gamble. It's worth it.
For 24 million dollars, where do I sign up?
Alright,
I'm pretty sure he went to DR and tried to find all these chemicals to try to hide it, this and that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he went back to the plane. Coño, hermano, me cogieron. I don't tengo plata.
Yeah, but they but they caught him like after who knows how long. He got a percentage of that money. You know what I mean?
Well, he's not playing this year, so he's not getting anything.
Oh, okay. So
He was able to survive last year, and his numbers were decent, like batting average and stuff like that.
uh-huh.
But at the same time, too, I mean, why wouldn't you take the chance?
Yeah, exactly.
So, do I agree on PDs for me to be successful and make millions? Go right ahead. Now, so I guess it's a double-edged knife, though, because I mean, you got kids that are natural born athletes, then you got a kid that has to work super hard, and he's the one that needs to take it, and it's confusing. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
a debate that could go on for
Years, man. Yeah.
we could go on for back and forth for a while, but
Yeah. Let's switch it up, man. I wanna talk a little bit. I wanted to have originally both you guys on because I wanted to talk about like the good old days, and I know you've been DJing for a while. When did you start DJing, Lenny?
oof, I was like 17 years old. This is back in Brooklyn. Actually, to be
what
honest,
year is this?
I started DJing, like loving the music
Uh-huh.
when it was the double cassette radios.
Yeah.
That was it.
revolutionary technology back then.
Yeah, the big the big radio with 4 speakers and 2 tape decks.
Yep.
I used to record like those midday mixes, 92 KTU, Paco, and of course, our family was with the salsa, with the disco and all that stuff.
Right.
So it just I grabbed a passion for it, and I've been collecting music for a very, very long time. So I mean, if I tell you I had from an American generation to Latin generations from the '60s till now in both genres, I mean, I have it on my laptop.
Wow.
And back in when I was 17 years old, I got you remember Jay, my friend Jay, and
Yep.
Eric. We started a DJ crew before they were DJ crews, and one guy did hip hop, one guy did house, one guy did Latin. Of course, I was a Latin guy, but I did the other stuff. And from there, we were doing clubs, bars, parties. Did it for a long time, and then I stopped when I had kids. That was back in 2002, 1 around there.
Yeah.
I totally stopped. So from like the 80s to like 2001, no problem. Stopped when I had kids. And then it was about a year after that, I ran into my friend Jay, Jumpin' Jay.
Jumping Jay.
He used to follow us as a little kid. I was like 19. He was like 13.
Right.
He followed us and he got the passion too as well. So when I stopped and I ran into him, he took off and he was a big name in the radio stations in New York.
Yeah, I remember.
So one day he came to the house. And he's like, "Hey man, you always inspired me. You've done things and you haven't done it in a while. Technology's different now because before it was vinyl records. It was big speakers, amplifiers. It was a backbreaking.
Yeah.
So he's like,
You
hey,
needed a team back then to carry all the crates
oh
and
yeah,
everything.
you needed a team, a van, you needed Uncle Benny's
Everything.
van.
Yeah, yeah.
You needed, so basically, he came back to me. He was like, look, things are real different now. He put a laptop down. He was like, all the music's in there. I'm like, where the records at? He's
Yeah.
like, he goes, all the music's in there.
Yeah.
Everything's self-powered. Everything is light. So I just got back into it. I got back into it, and it's tax-free money, easy money. At the same time, too, you
Exactly.
enjoy yourself. The passion of playing music and seeing people just enjoy themselves, just letting a weekend out.
Yeah.
Special occasions, weddings.
Yeah.
So then now my brother's he's he's in it big time right now.
Yeah.
He's more
So
involved in it than I am, to be honest.
yeah, let me ask you a question, man. Back then, like you said, you started 17. Would you have put more into it? You think back then, if you knew what DJs are doing nowadays? We're talking to your brother about this guy selling out stadiums on the
Yeah.
weekends, man, making millions of dollars. Because I never saw DJing when I was a kid. I saw DJ as like a guy on the radio. Maybe you get lucky for a few years, you get a little gig on the radio, or if you hook up with a rapper, you're like the rapper's DJ. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah.
I didn't see this. I did not see this coming. Did you?
I mean, back then you had big DJs, but what really, really blew them up, social media, internet, that's where
The
they really got
technology. All you need is a
themselves. Yeah.
laptop, like you said.
Yeah. Because even those DJs, they were big back then, were making good money.
Yeah.
They still continue doing it. They got onto the social media platforms. They're still doing it at an old age. They're still making
Funkmaster
millions.
Flex is still out there.
Yeah, he's still out there. One of the biggest DJs.
Red
come
Alert.
on, Yeah, Red Alert. Yeah, Red Alert came back.
Jeez, that's
Grandpa
crazy.
Red Alert came back, and same thing with him. When I was doing it, we're like 20 years apart though, or whatever. But same thing. He was introduced into the vinyl.
Yeah.
Same thing with Funkmaster Flex.
Yeah.
Vinyl. Now
So
it's
they went
everything
from
on
the
the
old
laptop.
school way, right? They went from the old school way and they transitioned to the new way with the laptop and stuff, and then they used the social media to just blow it up.
Yeah, so they had to adjust. Like, wait a minute, from vinyl. So they still doing it. Now, if I knew the game was going to change that big, would I have pursued it hard? Yeah, big time. Because basically you're only working weekends. That's it. And if you're working during the week, it's a couple hours, 4 hours a night. You got a guy walking into a club for like a set, 2 hours, making $500 to $1,000 a night.
Oh man,
easy.
Yeah.
You have
and for one of those big guys, it could be even more. It could be like 10 grand or something like that, man.
Look at. But those are the big ones. They're basically like they're DJs, but they're also promoters and producers.
Yeah, they're doing more than just
like house DJs.
Mixing, yeah.
They do a lot. Like I mean, but would I have pursued it? Yeah, because it's so easy now. I mean, my brother, he knew the music, and he never really played it, never DJed, never blended two songs together.
Right.
How he came about was basically the game is a cutthroat game. If you roll in with the wrong crew, you're gonna get cutthroat.
Damn.
I came out here to Florida. I had a decent, following, and a couple of guys followed me. I got cutthroat one time. I gave it wasn't a cutthroat. I gave a gig to a guy with my name tag on it, and he was horrible.
Oh shit.
So I got bashed for it. I got this. I even gave the clients the money back.
All right.
So I was getting gigs left and right. And then how my brother started, I was double booked. I forgot about it, but I'm always responsible. Yeah, I totally forgot about it.
Yeah.
But I'm always the type of guy that I'm always an hour ahead of the event.
Uh-huh.
I'm there an hour before.
Right.
I get there an hour before, and I get a phone call, and the guy's like, "Hey, Lenny, are you on your way?"
Oh man.
I'm doing a wedding, and I was like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "Oh my god." So my he was my assistant and was just breaking stuff down, putting stuff in the car.
Right, he was just helping out.
He's followed me so much for so many gigs that his mind already knew it already.
Okay.
So I was like, look, I screwed up. You need to go to the house, grab the other set, and you're going to go to a party. Looked at me like he was in heaven. And I was like, oh, for real, seriously, go. And I said, it's an older party. There's no high energy. You don't have to really blend songs.
Right.
You could just hit him with good songs.
Right.
He went and did a good job. Yeah, he went and did a good job. And they were like, okay, boom, Same thing. I booked the cruise. Yeah, booked the cruise. Forgot about it. I'm about boarding a boat. And, hey, Lenny, you on your way? My brother. So then after that, I'm like, dude, you need to know it all.
Yeah.
I took him, gave him a couple of lessons. Dude, he's the hottest guy out here right now.
There you go.
The guys that used to roll with me right now are hating on him right now.
Awesome, man. Awesome, dude. Hey, thank you guys for coming on, man. I'm running out of time right now, but I love you guys, man. And we got to
Same
do this
here.
again, man.
Yeah, definitely. We'll do it together. You know, both of us together. Phone.
Yeah, yeah.
Just give us that. I know the time difference is like huge.
It's
What
hard.
time
Yeah.
is it over there right now?
It's about, let me see. It's in the morning. It's 8:40 a.m. right now. Saturday morning.
Saturday morning, 8:40 a.m. It's
Yeah.
Friday over here. It's about 7 o'clock. So
Yeah.
you know what's about to go down, right?
Yeah,
Friday, 7
Friday
o'clock.
night. Just got
I
paid.
pay. Serve myself a cocktail and take a shower and see what happens tonight. That's it. Because we miss you, we love you. I know we're gonna definitely meet up sometime.